At Stantec, we're constantly adapting and innovating to provide cutting-edge solutions for the challenges of today and tomorrow. In this series, we showcase some of our most intriguing projects and the innovative people behind them. Today, we're in southern Alberta at the largest solar facility in Canada. Welcome to I'm an Innovator.
The Travers solar facility was built on 3,300 acres of rolling terrain about 2 hours southeast of Calgary. It's an area 6 times the size of Central Park, with a massive construction footprint, 225,000 piles inserted into the ground, thousands of racks linking the piles, and over 1 million solar panels affixed to the racks. And the person responsible for the design of such an immense project? A civil designer nearly 3,000 miles away in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. And his interest in design was catalyzed during his formative years.
I began as a teenager working with my father doing construction. And to be honest, I didn't want to be swinging a hammer my entire life, so I found design to be more applicable.
Kyle began his professional career in the oil and gas sector, but then moved over to infrastructure. His energy background was attractive to Stantec's solar facility design teams.
I see them as green energy, being renewable. I see them as a benefit to the environment. And then from my design perspective, I'm able to minimize the impacts that we have on the actual ground and earthworks.
How did Kyle do that? With Stantec Beacon. It's a fully automated vertical design tool.
It takes an overall parameter perspective to the layout vertically of solar farms.
At Travers, Beacon reduced the amount of soil that had to be moved from 1.25 million cubic meters to just 600,000. That cut construction time by 3 months.
A unique aspect of the Travers site is that it moves away from a traditional parking lot design where everything is level. How is Beacon able to make that possible?
So Beacon is able to take kind of the surface of the ground and minimize how much cut and fill you have to do to meet the tolerances of the panel. So what I mean by that is they can only bend so much at each spot. So you have to kind of curve the ground to make them fit. And the Beacon tool is able to do that almost instantaneously.
How does the Beacon process compare to the traditional method of creating a solar facility?
So if you see every pile, so that's what goes into the ground, at the very top you have an XYZ coordinate. So it's in each direction, you need to know exactly where it is in space. If it were done by hand, it could take months to calculate that. It took a few minutes.
Walking between these racks, you really get a sense of just how expansive this site is. So how long will the solar facility be in use for?
Well, the design life for the facility is 35 years, and then after that it'll be reclaimed.
And so what happens after that contract term ends?
So we'll reclaim the site, so all of the panels and the piles will be taken out. But because we use the Beacon tool, there's not that much on the surface that needs to be changed.
So it's not just the construction process is more efficient, saving time and money, but there's the environmental impact?
Well, there's actually quite a few wetlands and ephemerals on this site. So the way it was designed is that the water still, with the panels in place, goes to the same place into wetlands as it did before we were here. So there's not really been an impact to the water patterns of the site as well.
Kyle's continuing to refine the Beacon tool and hopes to apply it to other linear infrastructure, like utilities, roadways, and wind farms. And what would his message be to young Kyle, swinging that hammer a couple of decades ago?
Keep using your mind and trying to find ways of using technology to remove the manual effort, remove the repetitive task, and get a better understanding of what's going on around you.